Welcome back. Today is Saturday, July 3rd, and it's been a few weeks now since I last recorded. We've been busy, so just haven't had the time to record as regularly as I would have liked, but I have plenty to show you today. I'm going to start with what I'm wearing. Can't see much of it from where I have the camera situated, but I'll insert a photo. This is one of the FOs I have to show today, which is my tulip wrap tank by Knititude. And it's a tank top made with True yarn. And I had some struggles with this top. Not the pattern, actually it was the yarn. The pattern was pretty easy to follow, and it has a simple construction, at least I thought it was, and it worked up pretty quickly, but the yarn, it's very slippery, and I was stubborn and stuck to using my metal needles that I own, and I've heard that wood needles are better, so I just kind of stuck with it and finally finished it a couple weeks ago and thought that it would be a nice FO to wear for today. Also, I'm in the Pacific Northwest area, and we just went through a massive heat wave. It's still hot, but at least it's the normal hot for this area and not over 100 degrees. So it was nice having some of my summer makes all finished up so that I could wear them. I also quickly wanted to point out the necklace that I'm wearing, which you can't see a whole lot, but I'll show an image from the person who created it. It's Maven Crafted, and they just had a second shop update with this watercolor design that they've been doing. They do progress keepers, and on the first update I missed all of those, so I snagged this necklace because they're super pretty. It's like watercolor splashes in the background and then black line ink of like different flowers and leaves and mushrooms in the foreground. So really pretty. I have one more FO. And I'm gonna call myself a liar because the last time I recorded, I thought it was gonna take me forever to finish it, and then I'm pretty sure I finished it like the next day because I tried it on and realized I didn't have much further left to go, and I didn't need to do as much as I thought I did. And that is my turn tunic dress made by Haley Bailey. And I'm gonna have to put a photo of this because it's way too long to show, of course, but I wanted to at least hold it up. This is how it turned out at the top with the contrasting sleeve, and then as you go along, it has this really pretty lacy detail for the skirt. And I can't remember where I was when I shared it last because I've since blocked it and all that good stuff. So I don't have the progress keeper in it anymore. I keep saying creeper. But I think I only had like 2 more of these little triangle rows left to do. So like 6 rows. Did not take me very long. Speaking of the heat, last weekend when we were well over 100, that happened to be the weekend my husband's family reunion fell on. And it was outside. It usually is outside. But I was so glad that I finished my turn tunic dress because I wore it on the longest and hottest day last weekend, and it was delightful. I was still very, very warm, but with all of so this is cotton yarn, or it might be a mix, can't remember, but with the lacy details in the top and the super open skirt, like, I think I survived that day because of this dress. In fact, I've already worn it again, and it's gonna be a staple for my summer, and I'm very excited to keep wearing it, that's for sure. So that's what I have for FOs. I'm trying to think I think that takes care of the 3 main garments I had been showing for weeks and weeks and weeks. So now they're all done. And now we have a new slew of things to show. Except for my first whip, because that is, so tangled up, My Tidings to You by Amy Gunderson, the scarf that came in the GB Beans 2020 Craftment. So the new color has been added. I think I had just started the yellow the last time I shared, but you couldn't really see it because there was only like a row. So yes, new color, this really beautiful mustard yellow. And still winding its way through. This is the project I'm working with my mom just about every weekend. Not quite, but almost every weekend. We Zoom for a couple hours and just kind of work through what we can. And it's been a lot of fun, just taking our time to work on it and make some progress. I have a new whip, and that is the Summer Crochet Top by Brianna K Designs. And I don't think I'd even swashed this up the last time I recorded. And I'm slowing down on this because I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to have enough yarn. And this is one of my Make 9, by the way. I need to be better about saying that. Both this top and my Made by Haley Bailey Turn Tunic dress are both on my Make 9. So I've completed 4 of my Make 9s for this year, and this is the 5th one. Ooh, that looks real bright on the camera. It is not quite, it's pretty red, but it's not quite this red. It's a little more of a deeper, like a ruby color versus this really bright red that at least I'm seeing on my camera. So, ignore the threads there. Look at those stitches. So the reason I say I don't think I'm going to have enough yarn is because this is my second ball, and originally it called for 4 balls for my size, and I am not even halfway done with the front panel. I don't know. I mean, I might, but also it's out of stock, so hopefully it's not discontinued and just out of stock, but I can't get more right now anyway. So I've kind of slowed down on this a bit, but it is a cute tank top that has, this kind of more closed, meshy main part of the panel, and then like the top has a more open, lacy pattern, and then it'll just, I think it's just 2 panels that just kind of seam up, and you throw it on and you're good. But this is using Furl's Whims Merino DK yarn. It's like a Z-twist or something to that effect that's supposed to be really good for crocheters and showing off their stitches. I mean, the stitches are beautiful. I can't tell if that's just the pattern or the yarn or a combination, but they do look really pretty. This is the moss stitch, which I really like. I've only done it for maybe 1 or 2 projects, but it's such a pretty stitch and very therapeutic to work through. So I have been enjoying working on it. I just kind of slowed down because I can't get the yarn I need to finish it if I need to. Wow, I went through all of that real fast. But I've arrived to my final whip, which is the one I'm most excited about, if I'm going to be honest. And that is my Superstitious Pullover by Michael Shawn. I've been wanting to make this. I think it released last September, and I saw the testing call. It must have been like August, some point. And I knew the moment I saw it that I was going to make it. And at that point, I wasn't yet confident enough in my knitting to try it, and I was in the middle of a million other things. But I put it in my Make 9 for this year, so number 6, because I wanted to do it. And when Knit Picks had a pretty big sale last year on the yarn I had decided that I wanted to use, I pretty much bought everything that I needed, except when I went to start it, I think in my last video I had a swatch to share. And I'm so dumb. I was thinking I have my main yarn, and then I had the little mini skein packs from Little Wolf Knits that was made for specifically this pattern and the color work. And I was thinking in my brain, I don't know why, because it's clear in the pattern, I just wasn't reading it right, that would cover my contrasting color, like all of my contrasting colors, and not the main contrasting color. So I actually ended up needing to order and wait for another contrasting color. But this is my first knit colorwork project. I've done colorwork in crochet, but never in knitting, I'm pretty sure. And I'm officially through the first chart of the sweater, which makes this like cobwebby design across the top, right under the collar. So this is top down, and I'm using City Tweed DK, my knit picks, in jacquard, and I can't remember what the gray is, some kind of silver I think, but it's tweed, which I thought would make for a really fun fall sweater, Halloween sweater. And I'm pretty excited with how it's turning out so far. I just kind of took the plunge and jumped into it, and watched a lot of colorwork video tips. Colorwork tip videos, that's what I should have said, before I started, and there's a lot of information when it comes to knitting colorwork, and maybe that's the same for crochet, and I just kind of did my own thing with it and didn't really ever watch how to do it. But like, I had no idea that there was a dominant strand, and so in this case I made my contrast color the dominant, and because of where it's positioned, it's supposed to make my gray stitches a little bit bigger, so I thought it would help them pop more. I mean, there's going to be plenty of teal, that's my main color, so the whole thing will be teal, and then it'll have the color work running through it. So I'm going to make my all my contrasts the dominant strands, hopefully. So pretty excited about that. I've tried it right after I finished the collar. I tried it off the needles and it seems to fit pretty well. I think I mentioned in my last video I was a little concerned about picking a size because my bust is right in between two measurements. And this had a recommended 0-inch ease, which meant I wasn't gonna have that. But I'd read a bunch of Ravelry projects, and some of the people were talking about how it kind of ended up being a little bit bigger on them, and I don't know if that was a swatch issue or what, but I'm going down a size to 47. I have a 48-inch bust, so I went down to that one because going up would have gone to 52. And apparently the collar is meant to kind of sit like right around the collarbone, and if you start, I'm not even going to try to make modifications. It'd be one thing if it wasn't with colorwork and everything, but I wanted to try and pick a sweater size that I could just work up and not have to worry about how I was going to make modifications when there was colorwork in the pattern. Because it's pretty consistently, like there's 2 rows in between this and the next chart. No, like, yeah, 2 rows in between the actual colorwork, but I guess it's part of the charts. So anyway, I'm very excited for this. I don't want to put it down, but I have other things I need to work on, so I do need to put it down, but I don't want to. So hopefully I continue feeling that way, because I know right now I only have, I think I'm at 216 stitches right now. So I know it's only going to get bigger and the rows are only going to take me longer. But so far I feel I just started this week. Monday? yeah, I think I just cast on Monday. And I feel pretty good with the amount of time that I've been putting into it. Just, you know, a little bit here and there every night. I feel pretty good about how it's moving, so I guess I should show my floats because that's apparently a thing. I don't know, I'm pretty happy with them. I feel like they look nice and neat and tidy. So far it feels like I've been giving it enough room. Like it still has pretty good stretch. Like I feel like that's the stretch of the natural fabric and it's stopping because it's stopping and not because the floats are constricting it in place. So hopefully when it comes time to blocking, I have allowed enough space for it to not do weird things. Okay, now I'm gonna stop talking about that one, but I'm very excited for it. Oh, speaking of my Make 9, I just wanted to point out, and I'll post a photo of my updated Make 9. I actually made the decision like I don't know, I guess a week and a half ago that I was gonna swap the last 3 that I had left in my Make 9. I originally had some projects that I would have needed to purchase yarn for, and I have enough in my stash. I was like, should probably try to pick something that I can use up what I already have in my closet. And like all the ones that I've completed so far were things that I either already had all of the yarn for or most of the yarn for. Like the Superstitious pullover, I bought that yarn like in October or November last year, except for the main contrast color because I messed that up. But like the bulk of the sweater quantity I had already purchased, so I had that sitting around and I wanted to use it up. So I'm not going to go into too much detail because I did post on my Instagram tagging the designers and things, but the last 3 I basically swapped out, so now I'll have 2 scarf shawl type things. And then I also am going to make the Love Note sweater because I'll start with that first. I remember talking about this knit crate from May. I think it was May's knit crate. It was a really pretty neutral color and how I wanted to make the Love Note sweater with it, but knit crate had two skeins and I would have needed 4. So, oops, sorry. The additional yarn that I ordered through, I think it was the Double Down, arrived. It took quite a while. So now I have my 4 skeins, and I decided I'm going to try and blend these 2 together because firstly, I think they were sold out of this color. In fact, they still have some of this color in their shop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were sold out of this color, so I couldn't just do a solid color, and I wasn't going to buy 4 more skeins when I already had these 2. But also, because I have the perfect dress to layer this with. And that is this dress. It is like a strappy thing. In fact, I don't even know if I'm holding the, yeah, I have the correct straps. That's the front. And it cuts quite low, even for being a plus size dress. There's some popping out at the top. So, but I really liked the skirt part of it, and I've been seeing so many people layering crop sweaters or crop tops with dresses, and it looks so freaking cute, and I wanted to do it, dang it. So I've been on the hunt for dresses that had pretty skirts. I don't own a lot of dresses right now, but I definitely want to own more. So I got this really pretty patterned dress, and I prefer dresses or skirts that fall to the knee, so I really liked that about that dress. And then I'm gonna be able to hold up all of them, but look at how perfect. I mean, out of all the reds, I'm so glad. I was worried about picking reds because that particular knit crate had like 3 or 4 different shades of red, and I was like, I'm hoping, I mean, I feel like I could have picked a couple of them, but I could not have picked a better red to fit this dress. It is absolutely perfect. So between the two, I mean, I'm excited. I have not decided if I want to do the cream first and then the red. Let me do that. The cream first and then the red, so that the red is what is lined up with the dress. Or if I want to do super harsh contrast with the black background. Jeez. There we go. And do the red on top and the more neutral color on bottom. So if you have any suggestions, I'm all ears because I haven't quite decided that yet. I didn't say the words, but that was supposed to be part of my mail segment showing things that I've gotten. So this is part 2 of that mail segment because the other part of my Pokemon order from Red Door Fiber Studios arrived, and it also ended up being one of my, I turned it into one of my Make 9s. So I'm going to be doing, it's called the Calico, and I think it's a shawl, but it's using assigned color pooling. I think that's the correct word. And so I'm going to be using the Poison type from Red Door Fiber Studios Pokemon collection. Oh, it's so pretty. To do that. They were actually the ones that discovered this pattern. I didn't know about this pattern or designer before they shared it, and said that this kind of, the dye style used for at least like this yarn, I think all of the variegateds from the Pokemon collection would work very well for that project. And I knew, I'm just in love, like the neutral background and these pops of orange and pink are gonna be so pretty that I could not resist. So I swapped it in for one of my Make 9s. So at some point I will start it later this year, but I wanted to show the mail and the yarn since I have it. Also, Red Door Fiber always includes little postcards featuring some of the yarn in that collection when they send it out. And so this is for Pokemon. I think this was the water type variegated, and then the tonal that went with it was like Blastoise's shell, but I can't remember the colorway name. But super beautiful postcards. And that is all I have to share today. So I'm gonna cut it off there. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying cool because it's been hot. And follow me on Instagram. I don't post there super often, but I'm trying to be better about it, I promise. And then Ravelry is where I put everything. In fact, I have projects I haven't started yet that I have in my projects. All sorts of stuff, secret projects that I'm not showing here on the podcast until they're done and given. That's where I have all of my up-to-date information. Take care.